Perfect. Here we are once again, guys. How are you after one day that we haven't seen each other? How have you been? Are you enjoying your week? Yeah, I bet you do. Hopefully, you are enjoying your week. So, everything seems to be working. Perfect. There we go. Perfect. You can already see my screen. Perfect. All right. Welcome back, guys. For today, we have something extremely interesting. Remember that some uh, months ago, I did a special 1 day showcase of this game, of Outrun 2, in which we talked a lot about relativism and console exclusivities. Alright, I actually started the game back then. We made it up until kind of like 50% of the game. So well, throughout the months, I kept playing the game and everything, and pretty much I finished every single race that the game had to offer with the highest score, which is AAA, and everything. However, purposely, I purposely left out this final mode that I wanted to share with all of you today. Um, I don't know if it's gonna take me several tries. That's why I wanted to dedicate a complete stream to this level, because this is, as you can read, a special mode. This is a special mode of Outrun 2. This is the 15-stage continuous mode that was originally released, I guess, back when the arcade of this game was a thing, or back when the original Outrun 2 was released. So this is actually part of the original game, not Outrun 2006, which is this version. But it includes it. As you know, this is my PC version of Outrun 2. It has Bloom fixed. Um, it has fixed Bloom, sorry. Through modding. It's the PC version. Thanks to some mods, you can make it look like the original arcade cabinet or close to it. To the original Outrun 2. Okay. Um, so I wanted to share this with all of you today. It's a pretty long race. Um, the game is on the hardest difficulty, so it has catch up enabled. So opponents will, no matter how fast you drive, they will always catch up to you. So you need to be kind of like you need to have you need to be persistent in terms of your driving. You need to drive good up until the end of the race. I wanted to dedicate a whole stream because I don't know if it's gonna take me several tries. It's a pretty long race. Think about it like the Goliath in Forza Horizon, just so you have a modern reference. So if I am pretty good at racing games generally, because it's one of the genres that I play the most. So hopefully I'll do it first try. But if it doesn't, we'll try again. That's why I've dedicated a whole stream. I decided to dedicate a whole stream to it. If I finish it first try in, I don't know, 20 minutes, don't worry, we'll start the next game that I have prepared for you. So that we have prepared for the stream. So don't worry. I have a B plan in case I finish it first try. Alright, for this we'll use Outrun class, which is pretty much the fastest class of cars. And out of all of them, I'll choose the Ferrari Testarossa. The Ferrari Testarossa. Which is the one that I've been using to win all of the races, right? So with this brief 5-minute intro out of the way, I'll of course use automatic. We'll go with the classic. We'll go with the classic Passing Breeze, which is the one from the original Outrun. As you can see, I'm using my trusty Xbox One X joystick from 2017. Pretty much the first model that didn't need an adapter to be used on PC. So let's do it, people. There you'll have the total time, so we'll be able to track how much time it'll take me to do this. As I've said, I'm generally pretty good at racing games because it's one of the genres that I've played the most. So we'll see. We'll see if we can do it first try. If we cannot, I haven't practiced, in case you're wondering. So yes, and some of the later stages are pretty hard, so we'll see. Here it doesn't matter which one you pick, it'll be all of the stages, so you can choose whatever you like. They are kind of like shuffled. Normally, in kind of like when you normally play this game on normal Outrun mode, you... Oh boy. No, the collisions are different than in normal mode. Yeah, the collisions are a bit more difficult. You can generally kind of like scratch them and you won't be penalized like that. Alright, we need to focus. We'll use a slipstream here. Oof. Okay, that's way too slow. Come on. The idea here is to go up, is that we're going up against the timer more than anything. Nice. The idea is to not run out of time, basically. Oh boy, what happened there? Yeah, as you can see, I didn't practice before, but well, I think we're gonna make it. Well, I don't know. That's why, as I've said, we'll have plenty of time. If for some weird reason I do it first try, as I've said, we'll continue with the next game that I have for analysis. But I wanted to share this with all of you because it's a mode that you generally don't see online, because most people don't get to the point where they can unlock this, so yeah. There we go. Oof. There we go. I mean, those turns are quite tricky. Those turns are quite tricky. Oh, this one is pretty tough. I wish I had one of those weird cameras that FPS streamers have, in which they kind of like show you their hands on the joystick, so you can see when I'm accelerating and when I'm hitting the brakes, but well, I only have one camera. What are you gonna do, people? By the way, in case you in case you think that the stream is a bit pixelated and it's because of my fault, no, it's not. I have the stream at the highest quality settings and the highest possible bit rate. The thing is that since I'm not affiliate, the stream quality by itself will be a bit degraded inevitably, because you kind of like don't have special bitrate privileges, let's call them. So it's not because of my stream if you see the game a bit pixelated, and also my own camera. It's because I don't have those weird bitrate privileges. So, yep, the only way you can fix it is by following me on Twitch. Sorry, there's no other way to fix it. By the way. Pretty much. If you want my gameplays to be a bit less pixelated, there's nothing else we can do about it. I already have it at the highest possible quality. And I'm using kind of like 100% of my connection. So yeah, it doesn't have to do with me. You have to go to either complain to Twitch or follow the stream. We do a lot of analysis. So yeah. You must admit that that was a pretty subtle way of advertising my stream. You must admit it. Okay. Now the thing is that since I don't use social media or anything else, well, and a lot of people have told me that, but it's a bit pixelated there. Your configuration must be there must be something wrong with your configuration, or that you configured incorrectly. No, it's not my configuration, trust me. It's Twitch kind of like has a cap to the bit rate, to the maximum bit rate that you can. Oof, there we go. To the maximum bit rate that you can stream at when you're not affiliate. So yeah, pretty much. It's the only way to reduce pixelation at this point. My configuration is kind of like at the highest possible. In fact, it looks better than some. It looks better than some incorrectly configured affiliate streams because of it. So imagine. Imagine that there's nothing else I can do about it. So yeah. It only happens with fast-paced games that have, especially those that have a lot of camera panning movements, like this one, or FPS games, because that kind of like strains the bit rate of the connection. Right. So but anyways, I think you'll have a pretty decent image of the gameplay. Nothing I could do about that one. Let's focus. All right. By the way, damn it. This shouldn't be harder than the crazy race that we did over at Scoot Race. The 60 laps endurance. Hey, we're running out of time, 87. Ah, but we're close to the end. I think we're gonna make it. Unless we crash. This one was pretty tricky. Okay. There we go. Yes, in case you're wondering, you are expected to stop your car like that in this game, especially when you're at 300 kilometers. There we go. Uh-huh. I should have. Oh, whatever. Yes, we use kilometers. I use kilometers per hour instead of miles. But well, you have both options in this game. But well, you probably won't understand it if you're from the US. But yeah. But well, then we can do it with miles per hour. But well, I don't think it changes the experience a lot. Just know that 300 kilometers, it's kind of like, if I remember correctly, according to the games that I played with miles per hour, I would need to do the conversion, but it's close to 400. It must be close to 400. Just so you have a reference. Oh well. Focus on the driving. Yeah, in terms of miles per hour, it would be close to 400, if I remember correctly. I don't know if there are some games that kind of like have only miles per hour, and if I remember correctly, it's more or less like that. It never gets over 400. Oh. Oof. In that one, it didn't turn straight up. Imperial Avenue. Oh, I think I remember this one. I think I remember that one. It's... Ah, yeah. Nah, this one's easy. There's one which is worse, which is probably the last one. Cape Town or something like that. Hell of a turn. It'll probably be the last one. Cape Way. Yeah, that one. This one. This next one is terrible. This next one is terrible. Yep. Nope. Nope. Damn it. I think the physics in this one are even more difficult than in normal Outrun 2006. Kind of like they punish you much more for kind of like crashing or bumping into other cars. Alright, we did it first try. Damn it. Let's do it again with MPH. Let's do it again with MPH for... Uh, let's do it again with MPH, now that I've practiced a bit. One more time, it takes 20 minutes exactly, 15 minutes. Let me change the options. Settings, kilometers. Well, as you can see here, it's very hard. MPH. There you go. Just in case you're watching this from the US. Ah, look at that. This one is SP Outrun 2, and this one is Outrun 2 SP. I think here you cannot choose the car. Let me see. Oh yeah, you can. Well, I don't know if it's the same or not, but well, it's different, so we'll try it like that. This time, instead of this one, we'll do Splash Wave. So this time we're doing it SP instead of 2, MPH instead of kilometers, and changing the soundtrack. Alright. But well, it wasn't that... This was kind of like the original, if I'm not mistaken. This is kind of like the original, because it says SP. Okay. But it wasn't that terrible, because... It wasn't that terrible because... I had plenty of time by the end of the previous one. We'll see. It wasn't that tough. Oh well, that's a difference. The SP version has kind of like the dragon from Panzer Dragoon. And I think the stages are a bit different. Totally different, in fact, I believe. You have no idea how many times I crashed on that turn right there. But then I learned my lesson. Oh, look at that, I had no idea what the maximum amount was. So yeah, it's the other way around. In kilometers per hour, it kind of like hovers around 300, the European system, the one that I use, and here the Imperial system, the one from the US, it's mostly close to 200. It was the other way around. Sorry. Also, the controls are a bit different. I don't know which one I would pick out of the two. Either Outrun 2 or SP. In terms of the controls, at least. Because the physics of the collisions are different. I don't know. I also want to verify if this one is a bit harder, because of the fact that it's the SP version. Because the previous one we could do it in 15 minutes. That was one tricky series of turns. Ugh. If you can avoid if you can avoid drifting, it's even better because you actually lose some speed while drifting. Oh, careful with this one. I think that's the worst turn in all of the game, if I had to classify them. That one and Cape Way in general. Yep. That specific turn that you just saw, kind of like at the top of that canyon, it's terrible. Hey, look at that, we're back at normal birds. Sometimes it's even better to do those small crashes that you've been watching me do, rather than drifting at some points. You actually lose more speed by drifting, in case you were wondering. Well, at least here we have hooks. They are kind of like different than the usual formation of birds. Is it me or the horse galloping sound loop is bugged? Am I crazy or what? There we go. Yep, trying to extend that one, that drift. Careful, this one also has a pretty tough corner. Not this one. One that is similar to this one, but kind of like in the middle of the course. You'll see. Damn it. That one. See why I hate this corner? It's even knowing that it will happen, if you don't have a lot of room, it's difficult to avoid crashing. Anyways, I think we're gonna make it. No issues whatsoever. 97, yeah. Yeah, the galloping sound of that horse is bugged. I bet you can hear it. It has some emulation problems, the SP version. For example, that bugged the sound, or you can look at, if you look at the driver and the girl, there's a small transparency bug with their backs and their seats. Someone stop that horse. Well, they weren't horses, they were Pegasuses, but well, same story. Nice. 108, yeah, we recovered a lot of time. Yeah, if you drive decently, I guess, you should have no issues doing this. I was hoping this to be much more difficult. Oh well. I don't know if it's me that I've been playing this game a lot some weeks ago, but well. But well. Now I'll give anyone who tries to play the game for the first time the false idea that it's easy to control, and it's not like that at all. I can imagine, but I saw this idiot on the internet and he did the 15 stage continuous without any kind of issues. What's the deal? First of all, if you choose the Ferrari Testarossa, you should have no problems whatsoever. Or at least it's the one that I like. It's not a technical car. It's a rather fast car that has a lot of acceleration, balanced acceleration and speed, and it's kind of like decent, not amazing, but decent in terms of handling. So yep. I don't know. For me, it makes the most sensible combination of stats. You could see them at the beginning of the race. I don't know. Then we could try, instead of the Outrun class, we can try the normal class, and there it should be a challenge because it will be much slower. I don't know. To make it even more difficult. Could be. That one is actually another pretty tricky turn, but well. I guess my muscle memory was much more used to that one than the previous one. Hey, why is it that I'm always choosing right? Ah, Milky Way, this one is beautiful. Pay attention to the sky, because this one, as you can see, this stage is gorgeous to look at. Enjoy it, I won't be able to, I'm focused on the road. You'll be able to enjoy it, I won't. Oh, careful with this one. Oof, that was close. No problem. It's better for that. It's better to have those small side crashes than hitting the brakes a lot. Trust me, it has happened to me before. the ideal thing is to not have any crashes, but well. Oh, skyscrapers. This one is also interesting. Well, this is fitting. I changed the speedometer to MPH, and we are finishing here. I know we still have one more stage. No, this is the last one. And the last stage is the New York stage. So yeah. No. This one is also pretty tough. Especially this next corner. There we go. Turn, turn, turn. Well, that was fitting. The stages were totally different. Amazing. No. First, if you'll excuse me, I'll change it back to kilometers. Because otherwise I don't understand the actual speed I'm going at. But well, not like it's terribly, not like it's terrible and you cannot realize. Okay. 15 stage content. Now this is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stages. No. Let's do Outrun 2, 15 stages continuous. But instead of the Outrun class, we'll make it even more difficult. By using just intermediate B. As you can see, this one doesn't have a spoiler right there. So it'll actually be slower. Well, there you can see the change in stats. It doesn't decrease the acceleration though. It's a pretty good car. Well, as you can see there, the max speed will be lower, and the handling will be a tiny bit worse. They cannot make it worse than that, but well. So let's try that. Let's try this one then, and this will be the last race of the day. We'll actually begin with the next game for analysis after this one. Alright, now you'll see this in a slow motion. I don't know if it will be easier or worse for me, or harder for me. Well, as you can see, back when we were playing with kilometers, the maximum was 300, and here only with the slipstream I can get to a max of 290. So yeah, huge disadvantage there, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. It's just the same, but with a bit worse handling and speed. Also, the sound of the engine, I think it's different. I know it's actually easier to control. Because it's a slower. Well, yeah. The one that we just played was harder. Well, we'll see, because maybe here we run out of time. We'll see. We tried left last time. This time we'll try right. Let's see if I can show you even some more of the courses some more of the stages that the game has. Oh well. 93, yeah, you run out of time here. It may actually end up being a bit more difficult because of that. We'll see. How about you? You are not forced to. You are not forced to drift that much. Yeah, it's different. It's kind of like the original way the game is intended to be played. That makes it easier. Especially when coming out of the turns. Coming out of turns. It gives you kind of like an extra millisecond to react. For example, here you can see that I'm not forced to drift like this, and that. Oh well, but we are losing time. That's the idea. I must be the only player who gets excited at the fact that he is actually losing. Yeah, I know. Let's avoid crashing this one. Crashing into that one. I mean, it feels like slow motion when you are used to Outrun class, to the Outrun class. That. What are you doing? We may run out of time because of that. Oh well. Damn it, we were doing so good. Oh well. We were doing so. 94. Okay, no, it was just a long stage. We actually did pretty good, even if I crashed at the end. Overall. Oh, damn it. At this point, we would have already finished a normal game of Outrun. I think. 5 stages, yep. Or is it actually a bit more? Nah, it's actually only 5 stages. Okay. Okay. I actually expected these to be much harder, but no. Looks like we'll have to go back to Scoot Race eventually. We could never finish that medium. We could never finish that medium 60 laps endurance hard mode run. The thing is that that one was near impossible. That one was truly near impossible. I don't know why I'm drifting. If there's actually no need to drift. It's just that I'm used to when playing the Outrun class cars. I'm playing with the Outrun class cars. Alright, people. Looks like this one's in the bag. I was under the impression that this was going to happen. That I was going to finish them all first try, and I was going to run out of gameplay time for the stream. But well, don't worry. Since we finished this so fast, we'll begin with the next game. Actually, I'll change the title and we'll begin with the next game. I wasn't expecting it to be so easy. I don't know if the game is easy, because as you could see I have it on very hard difficulty. I don't know if the game is easy or I am way too used to play racing games or whatever, but yeah. we did all of them first try. We finished all of them first try. Ah, well. Ghost Forest, I think we haven't been in this stage today. Yeah, I think, yeah, in the first one, perhaps. Yeah, in the first run of the stream. Yeah, like this is slower in the sense that your car is slower, but you don't actually lose a lot of time. My bad. You actually don't lose a lot of time in the end. For me, this is a slow motion at this point. I mean, the Outrun class is pretty much what I'm used to. Let's see. 19, I think. Yeah, the risk here is kind of like running out of time. It's running out of time for the individual stage. In the end, can you imagine we're at the end? Intermediate B class, and I ran out of time in the last stage. See, it's better to have that small crash right there and not hit the brakes. It's kind of like a 1 second crash. It's kind of like instead of braking, you do that. Let's follow that guy. Metropolis. I love Metropolis. Please, sir, get out of the way. Someone once asked me over at YouTube, I think it was Anime Hokage HD, one of the subscribers of the channel. He asked me first if I used a steering wheel. As you can see, I do not. And I answered him, "Hey, thanks TLBG14 for following the channel from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for following the channel. Truly, I appreciate it." Sup, how's it going? How's it going? Thanks for visiting my crazy stream. How's Outrun 2 going? Well, I streamed this game some months ago, doing kind of like trying out the first levels and trying out this modded PC version. This is kind of like the PC version with a mod to fix the bloom, because the PC version had the bloom originally broken, and it controls and plays magnificently well. As you can see here, I showed this earlier, I'm using an Xbox One X joystick from 2017 and it works perfectly. I actually play this game whenever I have the PS2 release, also pretty solid. I think that one doesn't have any problems with the bloom. Also, that one must be the 2006 version. Could it be, or is it the straight up the Outrun 2 version? Because there's kind of like the 2006. For PS2, I have Outrun 2 SP and the Coast to Coast, which is 2006. Oh, so the PS2 had the original 2 SP. Oh, wow. It had the original one. I didn't know that. I thought it was only on the original Xbox. Because I remember the cover back when I saw it in a store. But yeah. So the single player version was also released on PS2. Didn't know that one. For PSP I have Coast to Coast. Yeah, I also have that one. That one is kind of like, it has some frame rate issues, especially when you take a corner. But it's amazing to just look at it running on a PSP. Kind of like, I remember the first time I saw it running on my. I actually used a PS Vita, but with backwards compatibility. But it's amazing. It has the same frame rate issues as the PSP, because the PS Vita has a built-in PSP, so it's amazing. Every other time is drift. The frame rate sometimes puke. Yeah. When you drift, it at some stages, it also has to do with the stages, if I'm not mistaken. It has to do with the stages, with the graphical load in the background, I guess. Because it's in some of them it does have that small frame rate issue. It's kind of like a second. So, but it's amazing because, nevertheless, it's amazing due to the fact that it runs at 60 FPS, if I remember correctly, on the PSP. So imagine, it's the 2006 version on the PSP. And it's 60 FPS. I remember it vividly. Hey, maybe we ran out of time on this one. We'll see. It's the last stage. See, it's a prophecy. Some minutes ago I said that, imagine if we ran out of time right at the final stage. No, there we go. Exactly 12 seconds. I'm getting the music for the PS2 and PSP releases, but the music kind of like on a CD or something like that, or kind of like the internal music of the game. No, we'll do Outrun now. We'll do Outrun. Didn't know it. If it had kind of like a soundtrack release, we'll go back to Outrun class now. And well, here we have the SP normal version. We can show it. It's kind of like half of the courses. I'm talking unlocking the music in the game. Yeah, the internal soundtracks. Yeah. It's a long way. It has a lot of collectibles. It has a lot of collectibles, from stages to cars and everything. Let's go back to Outrun class so I can showcase the difference. And yes, basically, the game has a lot of unlockables. Not only music, not only... Well, I think these are all that you can have. It took me... I remember it took me kind of like... This one is interesting. And you can also go for the originals. So, imagine. This one is kind of like from the original game. It took me months and months. There you can see the years. It's always the same because of the release. Let's use that one. It took me several months to actually unlock everything. The Eurobeat versions are a banger. Yeah. The game has amazing music, and that's exactly something that kind of like... I don't know if you play other... Yeah, you probably did. Other racing games, especially the Need for Speed games. Out of all of them, I believe this is a probably unpopular opinion, but for me, the first Need for Speed Underground, I have Daytona USA 1 or 2. The second one is still not released, but you can play it on PC through... There's an emulator that you can play on PC, actually, and you can play Daytona USA 2. Yeah, probably, I thought so. One is the Daytona USA 1, yeah. The one, we have the Dreamcast version, I use the Dreamcast version because it's pretty complete. I know that the controls were hated back in the day, both the arcade and home portion. Yeah, Daytona USA is legendary. I generally use the Xbox 360 version because it's generally easy to set up and play. The HD Xbox 360 version of Daytona USA 1. And for 2, or the Dreamcast version, either one of those two. Because the Dreamcast version has kind of like several modes. The Dreamcast version, if I'm not mistaken, sorry, I was not paying attention. I was reading the chat. The Dreamcast version kind of like has a lot of modes. And for Daytona USA 2, you can actually play it. Believe it or not. I tried to showcase it on stream and it crashed, but it was because of the stream. When I tried it alone, kind of like without streaming, if you have enough RAM on your PC, if you have 16 gigs of RAM or 32, you should be able to run the second one. Supermodel for Model 3 arcade emulation just sucks for configuring controls for joypad. You will be surprised. TLBG14. You'll be surprised. If you... I generally don't... I usually hate doing this. Doing self-promotion, but in the case of the specific thing that you are mentioning, I finished Scoot Race on stream. You can check out the bots to verify that I'm not lying. I finished Scoot Race on stream. On the highest difficulty, I have the bots here on Twitch. On the hardest difficulty, 60 laps endurance with this very same joystick. So you can actually configure the sensitivity, and you can. If I could finish the race, anyone can pretty much do it. So yes, you can actually beat Scoot Race and Daytona USA 2 with a joystick on the emulation of Supermodel 3. At least a Scoot Race. I don't know about Daytona USA 2 because I haven't tried it kind of like in depth, but I did it. It's on. I promise. I swear it's on stream. Fortunately, it's one of my favorite bots. That's why they are the only bots that I have kind of like as highlights because of that very same reason. Because of that very same reason. You can check out that I'm not lying. I did beginner night, beginner day, and supper beginner. In the case of medium and expert courses, because in School Race you can actually choose several courses. In the case of those, I honestly couldn't do them. But not because I didn't try. I tried, but besides being extremely difficult, the reality of the situation was that it was a lot of effort. I was close sometimes for medium, but it was a lot of effort, and honestly, no one watched the previous two, so I said, well, it's way too much effort for something that simply doesn't. It will give me the same, pretty much the same audience as any other game. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. So, yes, it takes a lot of effort, but the Model 3 arcade emulation is not the best. It's not the best, but it can be done. You have to practice a lot with a joystick. You can also use... The only track I have heard for Daytona 2 so far is the title screen. No, you mean that it doesn't work on the emulation, on the Super Model 3 emulation? You mean that it doesn't run, or you mean that it only has one track? Yeah, Daytona USA 2, yes, it only has one track, but I meant Scud Race. Scud Race. Scud Race has several tracks. Scud Race is actually a bit more difficult than Daytona USA. It's actually a bit more. Maybe I can show you. Maybe I can show you the Model 3 emulation. Anyways, I think I finished all of the races here today. Here, let me show you. It's been a while since I've